From August 1911 to May 1912, the Austrian village of Neulengbach, some 20 miles from Vienna, played reluctant host to the controversial young expressionist artist Egon Schiele. The peaceful seclusion of the country town led Schiele into a period of lyrical artistic production and caused him to write to his uncle, "I have come to Neulengbach in order to remain here forever. My intentions are to bring great works to completion, and for this I must work in peace. That was impossible in Vienna. Up to now I have given, and now because of this, I am so rich that I must give myself away." Schiele's enthusiasm for the town was not mirrored by the town's enthusiasm for Schiele. The 21-year-old artist's reputation for inverted commas pornographic drawings, the presence of his pretty model Wally, and his invitations to the village children to come and pose for him in the isolated little garden house he had rented on the outskirts of the town, aroused first the indignation and then the hostility of the country folk, and at last legal steps were taken to rid Neulengbach of its undesirable inhabitant. Thus it was that on the 13th of April 1912, one of the happiest and most creative periods of Schiele's life was brought to a sudden and brutal end. On that day, he was arrested by 2 village constables who had confiscated his drawings and then locked him up without bond in a basement cell of the Neulengbach district courthouse. The charges against him were immorality and seduction of a minor, but the prisoner apparently was not informed of them for more than a week. The first charge alleged by a careless or willful display of erotic drawings in his studio, while entertaining and sketching child models. Schiele had contributed to their corruption. This accusation came as no surprise to his friends in Vienna, who often warned the artist to be more judicious about the sort of drawings he left around when children came to pose. The second charge could plausibly have been applied to the attractive and vigorous young man, but in this instance, in which a 13-year-old celebrity-struck girl was implicated by self-confession, Schiele indignantly insisted in letters and other writings that he was innocent. Whatever the validity of the accusations against Schiele, the charges were sufficient to hold him in prison for 24 days, first at Neulengbach during the month of April, and then sometime after the 1st of May at the larger town of St. Pölten. During this time, he managed to keep a diary, complete at least 13 watercolours and 1 finished drawing, as well as mould a few sculptures out of bread. He was released after a court trial on the 7th of May. At the trial, he was assessed a fine and one of his drawings was burned by the judge in symbolic condemnation of his work, an act which Viennese newspapers were to remember for decades. The humiliation of his arrest, imprisonment, and trial left an enduring imprint on Schiele, affecting both his personal and his artistic development.